Hey, Tori, what the? When I was asked to come by the GM's office, you were just about the last person I expected to see here. Don't tell me you're the new general manager of SmackDown, Coach.
No. The coach isn't your new general manager yet. But I have been asked to move over from Raw to take care of a few things during Teddy Long's absence. Now I know that all of you on SmackDown are upset about what happened to Teddy. But hey, life goes on, right? The WWE Board of Directors has asked me to help out with superstar scheduling for the upcoming WWE Legends World Tour. It turns out that Raw's Muhammad Hassan isn't going to be able to make the tour. So, I need you to take his place. It's probably for the best anyway. I mean, can you imagine the trouble that guy would have had at Customs?
Look, Coach, I appreciate the offer, but I'm staying right here on SmackDown to find out who ran down Teddy Long. And until that happens...
The investigation of Teddy Long's attack is already well in hand. Besides, it's not like you're actually a detective or anything, is it? I mean, what are the odds someone like you would solve it?
You know what, Holmes? The way you've been talking, I'm starting to wonder if you know more than what you're saying. You wouldn't be trying to get rid of me with this whole world tour thing.
I hope you're not implying that the coach ran down Teddy Long. Ask anyone, and they'll tell you that the coach is an excellent driver. Besides, the tour is going to feature some of the greatest WWE legends of all time. In fact, it's such a huge show that I decided not to book myself on it. I didn't want to blow the fans' minds with too much star power.
I think facing WWE legends would be a great chance to prove yourself to fans worldwide. It sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Plus, I don't think Coach is going anywhere for a while. You can stay here and deal with him if you want, but I'd just as soon get out of here until he's gone.
Listen, if I can get you on board and solve this scheduling problem, that's going to make me look good for the board of directors. So if you'll help me, I'll help you. Go on the tour, and I'll see if I can't pull a few strings to get you a WWE title match once you get back.
You can do that?
Absolutely! You're talking to the coach.
Okay, fine. For a title opportunity, you've got a deal.
Atta boy. Coach says you're welcome.
Hey, you're just the cat I'm looking for, Daddy-O.
Ladies, can you give us a minute? When Vince McMahon made me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, tour general manager, I told him that I was going to put some of the greatest WWE legends against some of the top WWE superstars of today.
Thanks, Jimmy. I really appreciate that, Issy. Especially coming from a veteran manager like
I
yourself.
was surprised how good you looked in that match against the British Bulldog last week. I mean, after all, he's the former tag team champion, the Intercontinental champion, the European champion, and the hardcore champion.
You were surprised that I look good against the Bulldog? Well, Jimmy, all due respect to the Bulldog, Holmes. He is one of the true legends of the business, but I am a legend in the making.
Well, you know what they say, one match does not a legend make. Anyway, tonight, you're scheduled to face one of the greatest superstars ever to set foot in the WWE ring. And a man I know very, very well. He's a 5-time WWE champion and the greatest member of the legendary Hart Foundation. I'm talking about Canada's favorite son, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Wow, the Hitman, huh? Bret Hart's one of the all-time greats. No doubt about it. And if I beat him here tonight, I'll be one step closer to becoming a legend myself.
Hey now, don't get cocky, Daddy-O. Hopefully you'll be as good in the ring as you seem to be with the ladies. Because the excellence of execution requested a submission match. And I gave it to him. He said something about putting the past behind him here tonight.
A submission match, huh? Well, it won't be the first time Bret Hart tapped out in Montreal to a legend in the making. I'll see you around, Jimmy.
Good luck.
I'm good old JR Jim Ross, here with Jerry the King Lawler, coming to you live from Berlin, Germany. Here comes a future Hall of Famer in the flesh, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
You know, I saw Bret Hart's submission match last week, and it brought back a lot of memories. Not all of them good. Matter of fact, Jimmy Hart asked me not to come to last week's show in Montreal because he wanted to avoid an incident.
It's true. I'd have bet the house on there being one if he did show up, JR.
But you know, looking back on it, I think it's ridiculous that two grown men can't stand face to face and lay a 10-year-old grudge to rest. Bret, I know you're in the arena tonight, so why don't you come out here and shake hands and let's let bygones be bygones.
That's a classy move by Shawn Michaels. He's offering to shake hands with Bret Hart and bury the hatchet once and for all.
Maybe so, but do you think Bret is really gonna do it? Wait a minute, what's he doing here?
He might be a legend in the making, but he's no Bret Hart, that's for damn sure.
HBK, as I understand it, this tour is about putting future legends, like myself, in the ring with legendary WWE superstars. Now, I'm sorry that you got a guilty conscience, but maybe you should air out your dirty laundry on your own time. See, I've got no problems with...
Hey, if you insist on sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, you're going to have a problem in a hurry. I'm a 4-time world champion, an Intercontinental champion, and a tag team champion. I'm the first Triple Crown champion in WWE history. But if that's not enough to earn your respect, then maybe a little sweet chin music will.
Easy, Sean. I don't mean any disrespect, Holmes. I know you've accomplished a lot in the past, and that's perfect for a WWE Legends tour like this one. But let's be honest, when it comes to the future, you have to wonder which one of us has more legendary moments left down the line, if you know what I mean.
You know, you're partly right. I've already left more blood, sweat, and tears in that ring than you ever will. But when it comes to the Heartbreak Kid, like they say, you ain't seen nothing yet.
The showstopper came out here to make peace with Bret Hart, but now we have a potentially explosive situation in the ring.
All right, you two, cut it out.
I've been backstage trying to calm down Bret Hart all evening, and I've got to tell you, he's as angry as I've ever seen him. So since he wants a piece of you, HBK, and since you two want a piece of each other, I'm just gonna put all three of you in the ring for a triple threat match tonight. Right here in Berlin, Germany!
That sounds fine to me, Holmes. Tonight, we'll find out if HBK really stands for has been kid.
Sweet chin music! Sweet chin music!
That'll take some of the spring out of his step. Maybe next time he'll think twice before running his mouth to a Raw legend like Shawn Michaels.
Stone Cold like Austin's got some sort of problem with Jimmy Hart.
Well, who can blame him, JR? That blowhard gets on everyone's nerves eventually.
Stone Cold Stunner! Austin just stunned Jimmy Hart!
For once, I agree with Austin. Stone Cold! Stone Cold!
Oh, we've got combustible elements here, King.
What do you think that was all about, JR?
I couldn't tell you, King. I'm sure the Texas Rattlesnake has his reasons, but Jimmy Hart represents the authority of Mr. McMahon here. And I have a feeling Hart is not going to let this slide.
Maybe so, JR, but since when did the authority of Mr. McMahon ever mean anything to Stone Cold Steve Austin?
The WWE Legends World Tour continues this week, down under in Melbourne, Australia. And Taz, here comes none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So this is a little WWE Legends Tour? Is that right? The greatest superstars of all time under one roof? But Stone Cold Steve Austin ain't even on the card. You think you can have a Legends Tour without Stone Cold Steve Austin? Hell, there ain't never been a bigger WWE superstar than me. So if y'all want to see Stone Cold on this damn show, give me a hell yeah. Well, there you have it. So Jimmy Hart, you scrawny little pencil-neck bastard, I suggest you put on your cheap sunglasses and your little zoot suit and bring your 98-pound ass down to this ring before Stone Cold comes back here and sticks that damn megaphone so far up your ass, they'll be able to hear your silent but deadlies in the back row.
Here comes Jimmy Hart, and he does not look pleased to see Austin here tonight.
Brilliant observation, Lady Lips. This is 2 weeks in a row Austin has taken over the show. And not for nothing, something's got to give one way or another.
Look, Austin, it's true, you might be one of the greatest superstars of all time. But your actions last week are exactly the sort of thing I wanted to avoid. I mean, let's face it, Daddy-O, you're not the easiest guy to keep under control. I watched you put Vince McMahon through hell and back in the day, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna let you do the same to me. Now, despite not being formally invited, you managed to interfere anyway. And the fact is, I simply can't let you do that anymore. So we can do this the easy way, where you can just leave the ring and don't come back, or we can do this the hard way.
Hell, Jimmy, you know the Stone Cold Steve Austin ain't never done nothing the easy way in his whole damn life.
All right, Steve, if that's the way you want it, then I guess I've got no choice but to call in the big guns.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second. Before you
Why
two...
don't you hold on just one damn second, you mealy-mouthed bastard? This is what you call the big guns?
No, that's not who I was talking about.
Get back to the locker room and stay there. This has nothing to do with you.
Look, I joined this tour to face WWE legends in the ring, not to sit on the sidelines and watch them beat the hell out of each other. Jimmy, if you're gonna up the ante, I want in.
Well, that's just fine for the mouth of the South. I've got a couple of special surprises I've been saving for something like this. We'll see you two in the ring for a tag team match later tonight.
Well, normally Stone Cold don't like surprises, but now that you mention it, here's one for you.
It looks as if Jimmy Hart wasn't surprised after all.
Not for nothing, after last week, he'd have to have a case of amnesia. Not to be ready for that one.
It don't matter who you bring to this damn ring, there ain't never gonna be a legend as big as me. And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
Greetings from Tokyo, Japan, the land of the rising sun. And what a main event we've got here for the second to last show of the WWE Legends World Tour, a special 6-man Legends Battle Royal for some of the biggest names in WWE history.
This is gonna be great! We're gonna see Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. But I'm not sure about Jimmy Hart's decision to add this guy to the mix, JR. Unlike the rest of the competitors, he hasn't exactly proven himself to be a legend yet.
Don't sell him short, King. He's earned his spot by going toe-to-toe with some true legends over the past few weeks, so he could surprise us all.
With all of those legendary superstars, I knew we'd have some problems with their legendary egos, JR. And that pipsqueak Jimmy Hart's been AWOL since Austin tried to stun him in the ring last week. Uh-oh. Now what's he doing?
He's trying to get between them and calm them down. But frankly, that's the last place in the world you'd want to be. It's Mr. Socko! It's Mr. Socko right down his gullet!
Oh, that sock is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, JR.
And Austin gave him a stunner!
I could have told you that would happen, JR.
Now ain't that a sight? The only thing legendary about you is the beating you just took in the middle of this damn ring. Mankind may be one dumb, psychotic sumbitch, but he's earned something you ain't got yet, and that's my respect, and that's all I got to say about that. And now that it's just you and me, I suggest you collect your damn teeth, put your little sock back in your pants, and drag your lumpy ass back to the boiler room before Stone Cold changes his mind, stomps a mud hole in your ass, and walks it dry.
While I appreciate having your respect, Austin, I beg to differ on just one point. Mr. Socko may in fact be little, but to be fair, it is just a bit chilly in this arena. What's more, I'm content to take my leave, as Japan is one of the few places I can find live nutrition without being harassed by some sort of animal rights enforcement. But before I go, I offer what I like to think of as legendary words of encouragement to our would-be legend. Have a nice day!
Are you sure you're okay?
That was pretty bad, but I've had worse.
You know, Jimmy Hart is supposed to be managing this tour, but it seems like he's lost control of some of the legends.
I think you're right, Mommy. It looks like I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands.
So, what are you gonna do about Steve Austin and Mankind? Next week in New York City is your last chance to settle this.
That crazy Mankind reached into his pants, grabbed a sock, and shoved it right down your throat. Yuck! That is so gross. I think he deserves a little payback next week.
Yeah, but Stone Cold's just as guilty. Plus, he's meaner. And you might never get another chance to face a legend like him.
Who says it's got to be an either-or choice?
What do you mean?
Maybe I can only get one official match sanctioned for next week. But that doesn't mean I can't find one of those jokers somewhere else beforehand and get a little payback.
I like your plan. So, who's it gonna be?
It's the city so nice they named it twice. The WWE Legends World Tour comes to its explosive conclusion tonight here in the heart of New York, New York.
It's always good to come home, Cole, especially when you got such a hot main event. Stone Cold Steve Austin in a first blood match.
This superstar has already seen some action tonight before the show, when we found Mankind in a bar near the arena. And as you just saw, our cameras were there to capture the fight.
But that was then, and this is now, Cole. He's got Austin in a first blood match. Not for nothing, if he can beat the Texas Rattlesnake in this brutal match, even Stone Cold would have to admit that he's on his way to legendary status.
Welcome back to SmackDown. I followed your performance on the tour, and I've got to tell you, the coach was very impressed.
You're not the only one. You looked great against all those legends. It was so exciting to watch you in action.
Thanks. You know, Coach, I was a little skeptical when you first asked me to go, but I got to admit, it was the perfect opportunity to test my skills against some of the all-time great WWE superstars and prove myself to SmackDown fans around the world.
Hey, you don't have to thank me, but if you must, you're welcome!
I wasn't thanking you, Holmes. So anyway, before I left, you promised me a title match. And I know we've got a pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks. And I was thinking...
Oh, right. Your WWE title match. Listen, I've run it past a few VIPs, and it turns out that the coach may have promised just a tiny bit more than he could deliver. But don't worry. It's only a matter of time before the coach is named GM of SmackDown. And when that happens...
Listen to me very carefully, Coach. You're never gonna be the general manager of SmackDown. You understand? If you're offered the job, you're going to turn it down.
Why? Why would I do that?
Because as far as I'm concerned, you screwed me out of a WWE title opportunity. And if you become the GM of this brand, I will spend every Thursday from now on making your life a living hell. Comprende?
Got it.
Good. Come on, Tori. I want to get back and figure out who ran down Teddy Long. This little meeting just reminds me that I've got a lot of unfinished business back on SmackDown.